Now friends, what is the point in attending such knowledge seminars if you are only going to get knowledge and not inspiration? How many of you want to get inspired so that you go out and double, triple and quadruple your book size? Are you all ready? Now, the next speaker that I'm going to bring up on stage is going to be a person who's going to inspire. Okay, this is an entity that is running a SIP book size of 29 crores. Yes, you heard it right. 29 crores of SIP book size. Mr. Amit Bivalkar, MD and CEO of Sapient Wealth Advisors and Brokers. We have today Mr. Amit Bivalkar. He is going to come and share with us on the importance of collaboration and how collaboration has helped him to catapult his business big time. Okay, so please get ready and listen to this wonderful experience sharing from a very, very successful person, Mr. Amit Bivalkar. Over to you, Mr. Amit Bivalkar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mine is the last session, I can say, before lunch. So I will be presenting something which will not make you asleep, but probably make you hungry for business. And this has been a key word which we have been hearing in the industry, which is collaboration. Many people feel this is the need. Some feel that this is necessary today, while some are still in denial, saying that this is a fad or fashion. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amit Bivalkar. I am MD and CEO of Sapient Wealth. And let me take you through this journey of collaboration, how we thought it and why we think this is important. Thank you, IFA Galaxy, for giving me this opportunity. I am really grateful. I've divided the presentation into two parts, and I call it PPF to NSC. And for PPF, I mean past, present, and the future. Let us try to look at as to how we were when the mutual fund industry started in 1993, and then the 2018 peak of January, how we were compared to 1993. We were 9 AMCs versus 41 today. We were 47,000 crores versus 25 lakh crores. The largest player then had 80% market share. Today, 10 players put together have 80% market share. The first private player was Kothari Pioneer, which got merged into Franklin Templeton in 2002. You had only the dividend option, while now you have the growth option as well. The first fund came in 93, while the SEBI regulation on mutual funds came in 1996. Today, we are highly regulated. A big event then was the IPO. Today, regulation has become a big event. Mutual funds was bought mostly in metros. I think today B30 is growing faster than the T30. Investor education in 1993 was to explain the concept of mutual fund, while today technology has become the main innovative factor in the fund. Quotable quotes in 1993, I think it would have been first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. This has been right through fixed deposits, corporate deposits, LIC, PPF, ULIPs, bank deposits, and then finally mutual funds have won. And today we say mutual funds sahi hai. And for all of us as MFDs, I think we add one more sentence there, which is Sarthi Zaruri hai. But there are so many changes. This has been so dynamic. We had the mutual fund regulations in 96, then we had in 2009 the entry loads being abolished. We had the RI regulations in 2013. Prior to that, we had direct plans which came in January of 2013. We had long-term capital gain on debt going to 3 years in 2014 of July. We had DMON in November 2016. We have the IA regulations consultation paper in 2016. In 2018, we had the rationalization in TERs and fees. We had GST which came in 2017 July. We have scheme categorization which came in. We had liquid fund valuations, and we have what not. But in spite of this, From a 47,000 crore AUM in March 93, today we are sitting on a 30 lakh crore AUM. I think it only shows that the resilience, if you are ready to adapt change, I think you will be successful. The industry has grown. Whether we have grown along with the industry is for everyone to look into his own business book. What is the opportunity I see here? You've got 75 crore bank accounts, you have got 35 crore insurance policies, you have 29 crore PAN numbers, you have 6.5 crore people filing IT returns, you have only 2 crore of mutual fund unique investors. That means we have only 1.5% of the entire population which today are investing into mutual funds. When when people look at longevity, I think Messi has done a great job of captioning this. He says it took me 17 years and 114 days to become an overnight success. An MFD should never think one bull run should make him successful. You have to see 2, 3, 4 cycles, and when you do the same work week on week, day on day, hour on hour, minute on minute, that is how you should look at success. So 17 years and 114 days it took for Messi to become an overnight success. Mind you, there is another competition, and all of this you have to think in the background of why collaboration is important. Your competition is not your next door IFA or the national distributor or the bank. 74% of the liquid AUM is now controlled by direct. 22% of equity is controlled by direct. And 42% of the industry now is direct. You have all the tech platforms also which are doing direct. But just imagine what will be your relevance if the industry becomes 60-70% direct. How much will be distribution? Within that, how much will be MFDs? Within that, how much will be your city? And within that, how much will be your AUM? Therefore, you have to keep an eye on this number. If you don't change, I have listed down 5 examples which actually killed competition. But Netflix did not kill Blockbuster, the ridiculous late fees did. So Blockbuster did not actually reduce the fees. Uber became successful because of limited access and fair control in the Kali Pili. Apple killed the music industry because you had to buy full length CD albums rather than buying a song. Amazon killed other retailers because the customer experience, the wow factor, was missing. Airbnb is killing the hotel industry because availability, limited availability, and the range of pricing options, these are not there in hotels, which Oyo is trying to build in now. So we have to think what are these factors which are affecting my business. Adaptation of technology, when you come together, you might have a partner who is brilliant on technology and he can run that technology piece. So technology by itself is not the disruptor, but not being customer centric is the biggest threat to any business. Many people look to collaborate, look to join platforms only on this one factor, which is technology. If you are not customer centric, even if you have the best platform on technology, it still will be the biggest threat to any business because you are not customer centric. So, what is the change that we are looking at and why did we collaborate or merge? What we thought over the years was that commissions are slowly and steadily, gradually moving to fees. The transaction based relationships are moving to relationship based transactions. Knowledge, everybody has a smartphone which has a Google installed into it. I think from knowledge, what is changing is people are moving towards trustworthy. And that trustworthiness will only come if you have longevity in business, if you have people who think of clients first, and if you have people who have built goodwill in the market over long periods of time. I think from phone, we are moving again to face, although Corona made us move again to phone, but Zoom ensured that you are face to face like we are today. From asset turnover, moving from one fund to other, now the game has changed to asset retention. I think that is a big change. From man, I think people have started concentrating on women as a major investor category. I think we have ignored that for so long. I think that is coming to fore. And from service oriented, I think there are self help clients where, like at Sapient, we have a chatbot of ourselves. So there are clients who want to take your advice but want to do self help as well. This is what I think is changing in the industry. The customer earlier was from established families. Then we had customers with excess incomes. Then we had only between 40 to 45 years. Then the transactional approach came. Then people are trying to create wealth for themselves. Then people with potential growth came as your clients. And now B2B and B2B2C. This is how the customer has been evolving at every end. Similarly, from an advisor's perspective or a MFD's perspective, from a post office agent till a MF agent, then to a MF advisor, then to a IA or a RIA, eventually we have to be an effective advisor. I might be good at something and my partner might be good at something. If we come together and use both of us while conversing with the client, I think we'll end up becoming an effective advisor. Regulator also, they have learned over the years, no check on KYC, third party to strict KYC to no third party to no entry loads to direct plans to SEBI audits and now to SRO. I think SEBI also has come a long way. But where are we as MFDs? I've always maintained that having 10,000 people, 5,000 people, 2,000 people as your followers or in your groups, is it really relevant for the industry? Yes, the mutual funds will make use of it and probably ask you to push a product. But as a mutual fund distributor, where are you in the All India rankings? There are only 13 people pan India who are above 1,000 crores. Sapient is the only company which is above 7,500 crores because we are 3-4 people together. There are 39 people who are between 500 to 1,000 and there are 576 between 100 to 500. 900 people are between 50 to 100 crores. And look at the number in the last two of the pyramid. 16,000 people are between 1 to 25 crores and 20,000 people below 1 crore. In a 30 lakh crore industry, imagine if you are below 1 crore. What is the motivation for the RM to come and meet you? And that is why I am saying, where are we as mutual fund distributors? So what happens typically is we can't innovate within our comfort zone. And the magic happens somewhere else. Most of the times with IFAs, since we don't have a reporting boss, we think whatever we are doing is ultimate. When you collaborate, when you have 3-4 heads coming together, you will have that frankness wherein somebody can say, whatever you are doing, Amit, is stupid, rubbish, don't do it, this is detrimental. I think the magic happens somewhere else while I am still sitting in my comfort zone. But we all are similar. We choose the easier way. We want to have the cake and eat it too. There is a very strong desire for improvement in life to be better off tomorrow than today. And we are looking at, be true to yourself, in our inner core somewhere, we are looking for our self-interest over anything else. Many people will come and say that we work for clients, we are for the clients, and we will work for the clients. Somewhere there is self-interest which is actually overshadowing the client's interest. Nobody knows everything about the world. We all are similar, but we try to be what you can say the first respondents on WhatsApp universities. The last one is important. We have a lot of ego, and that leads to overconfidence. And we try to feel that as if we are going to exactly predict how the markets are going to function. What are we striving for? We are striving for basically security, which is physical, economic, and emotional security. Then we need a comfort which is physical, best of house, best of food, leisure, holidays, entertainment, relaxation. We like to get loved and also strive for love. The need to be recognized and respected. And the legacy for what we will be remembered after we are absent. All of this is possible if you have collaboration. Your basic needs are taken care of. You can get that comfort. You can go on a holiday where somebody else is taking care of your office. You definitely are loved by your partners. You get that necessary respect and recognition within your company, and you are leaving a legacy for which you will be remembered even if you are not there. So, what does a successful company? What does it separate them from others? I think as an individual, what I have understood is we have to do what is fun and easy. It is very boring and it is very difficult. But we have to actually identify I should do something which is fun and which is very easy. Give the harder tasks to your juniors. You should have a mentor which is below 30 years of age. If you have that, I think you will be successful. Do what reduce your stress. It brings us closer to our goals. You can't be the solution for everything. Delegate. The third one, if you resist change and maintain status quo, then I think there is a problem. We should not resist change and we should not maintain status quo. If we adapt and adjust, all of these three, what I've learned over the last 13, 14 years of Sapient, I think this is what separates us. What makes the difference? I think the biggest differentiator there is the expediency factor. I have to, compounding we have been learning from school, but the ability to delay instant gratification, that upfront commission, that need for getting higher commission, if we can have that ability to delay that instant gratification, I think that makes the difference in success and failure. Success is all about self discipline, willpower, and strength of character. Basically, the irony in India is that we are told not to talk with strangers, but it is even more perfect to marry a stranger when it comes to deciding about your marriage through arranged marriage proposals. I think if you have the self discipline, willpower, and strength of character, this is exactly what you look at in your life partner. And the same applies when you're looking or scouting for a business partner. I think self discipline, willpower, and the strength of character, these are the only things which you should look for in your partner. Forget how much AUM, forget what kind of revenue, forget which car does he drive. If he has self discipline, if he has willpower, and if he has integrity and strength of character, I think you will be successful. In the ecosystem, we are at the center, and there is an internal team, there is a service provider, which is the vendor, there is a regulator, there is a product manufacturer, and there is a customer. Remember, we have to gel well with all of them, then only we can grow together. Some partner of mine is very good at handling product manufacturers, some are good at audits, some are good at handling vendors, some take care of the team, and some take care of the customer. If you have a collaboration and if you have skill sets where people can actually go and handle all of this for you, I think your company is going to be really successful. What happens is that after a certain point of time in an individual practice, my hygiene factor of a touch with client remains the same. So my connect keeps on coming down while it has to go up as my AUM goes up. But the Pareto principle applies here as well. And in the 80-20, I probably talk to only 20% of my clients, and the 80% are actually left in the lurch. And this is where other people come and take away my market share. Collaboration helps you in identifying these gaps, and some responsibilities of clients can be given to other people. So, how is our day to day if we are not collaborating? We have sales and relationship management in the core, but we also have to look at compliance, which takes more time, back office and operations, products and research, and technology and building capability. Instead, if we collaborate, there will be somebody who will hire compliance guy, operations guy, research guy, and technology guy. Today, we are not hiring because of the cost, but once you come together, these costs will be minimal. And you can focus only on the one job which you are good at, and that is sales and relationship building. I think what we have come through is we were here 5 years ago, and today we are here. I think that has made the difference between, if you look at Sapient's SIP book today, we are at 28, 29 crores a month. If you look at number of SIPs, we are at 27,000 live SIPs. We have got 6 offices. We have got $1 billion of AUM. This was possible only because From here, we actually moved here. Then, what I wanted to say, 30,000 clients, 63 employees, not possible if I was a one-man team. Even if the Pune original team of Sapient of me, Janaksha and Rahul Khandekar, still it was not possible. It is after we had Paresh in Bombay, after we had Pallav, Mudit, Sham and Divya in Guwahati, after we had Rupa and Dhruv in Mumbai, that I can boast that we probably have a institutional process in place. The pedigree of directors that we have worked in DSP Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, Franklin, SBI, Tata. You can also definitely get more and more such people and you can work with them. Then I move to the next part, which is new product, strategic tie-ups and collaboration. Why collaboration? The last 10 minutes of or 5 minutes of my presentation. Newton said that I have seen further, it is only by standing on shoulder of giants. That is something which is very much drilled into my mind. Many ideas grow better when transplanted into other mind rather than where they sprang up. So you can seed an idea and somebody will probably take and grow that in a better fashion than you think you can do. Therefore, collaboration is important. Second aspect is the whole is always greater than the sum of its parts, and therefore you need to collaborate. When we were coming together, I had written down 8 or 9 pain points as an MFD. The first one is technology, second one is products, suite of products apart from mutual funds. The third one is research. I don't think anybody has a team to do research. Now I can say very confidently we have a team of 6 people who do research. Then you have back office, then you have economies of scale, operations, compliance, marketing, and succession planning. If you want to take care of all these pain points, I think the only possible route for me was collaboration. And therefore, I chose that let people come and let us make this organization big by collaborating instead of doing a takeover or an inorganic growth. Now there is a competition between us and Ghatkopar and Nariman Point and Guwahati as to who is doing a better job on business because these things are taken care of. So collaboration actually brings out the best in you when it comes to sales. What we have also developed and learned over the period, as MFDs, I have a choice to sell active mutual funds, passive mutual funds, portfolio management, or AIFs. I can be a MFD, I can be a RIA, I can be a B2B company, or I can be a fintech robo. So at Sapient, we sell active, we sell passive, we have our own algorithm products, we have a PMS now. AIF, we have still not got a license. We are a MFD, we have a RIA license. On the B2B side, we have a company called Symphonia, which by the way will be the fastest growing company. It will touch 1,500 in the next 1 month. And then FinTech Robo, we have not actually thought of right now. But what we have given as solutions there is we have a CRM, we have a research software, we have a portfolio software, we have a call center of our own, and we have a chatbot service. I think this is what came out after we collaborated and we do monthly partner meetings, promoter meetings, director meetings. And I think this is all is the output, what I could see after so many months of meetings along with the new people. So in conclusion, collaborate and synergize if you want to be successful. Look at your AUM, look at the fund house AUM, and just think, are we meaningful? Second, never celebrate too early. AUM are for AMCs, AUM are not for us. This is not our AUM, this is our client's AUM. Third, single-minded focus should be clients. I know everyone keeps that in mind, but the single-minded thing should be client focus. Stay away from social media as well as the social bar because you are being watched continuously by your existing clients, by your manufacturing people, and by your prospects. I also am active on social media, but only put the relevant stuff. Do not put all of that what you want to retweet or forward. The last one, very important, be grounded, otherwise the industry will make you grounded. In the debt crisis, I think everybody has learned that. Corona has taught us more. So before I say thank you to all of you for this hearing to me, when thinking about life, my friends, you have to remember only one thing. No amount of guilt can solve the past, and no amount of anxiety will change the future. And therefore, people who want to come with you, you compromise. People whom you want to go with, you adjust. And therefore, collaboration is now a need and a necessity, and not a fad or a fashion. Thank you very much.
What an inspiring story and inspiring presentation. Amazon did not become a giant just because they were better than other retailers. They became giant in the business because they were customer centric. What a brilliant takeaway. Customer centricity is the most important way in which you can grow and retain your customers. Collaboration, that is very important. Collaborate with knowledge platforms, collaborate with others in the industry, and that is the way you will be able to grow your business manifold. Biggest takeaway. Thank you so much, Mr. Amit Biwalkar. That was really very inspiring. I'm sure a lot of our friends today are going to work on the lines that you have laid, and they are also going to lead from the front just like you have done. Thank you so much, sir.